campers, welcome back to Camp Insomnia! I am your head camp counselor, Zach.
I'm Macy, I'm a camper.
You know me, I'm Camp Mama.
And it's the return of Jacob, your other head camp counselor.
I'm Jay Quizzle, the camp medic. If you need help, come holler at me.
Hey! So this is a little family episode. I leave back to Canada tomorrow at 6 a.m. So we might as well do this last episode in Oklahoma with my family.
There you go.
There we go. There we
We're
go.
all checked in.
All checked in. So for new campers that are around the campfire this evening, hi, welcome to camp. We're pretty chaotic here, but we're here to tell you some really spooky paranormal and true crime stories.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Yes, you come to the right place. So we like I always like to do every podcast is we check in. Any cool and exciting news? Nothing really on my end. For me at least. I have a really bad stuffy nose, but we went out for lunch and I was trying my best to
I'm here.
trying my best to taste the food through my stuffy nose, but it was delicious nonetheless. So
Where did you guys go again?
I'm at Eats.
Matt Eats.
Oh, Matt Eats.
Mhm.
All right, what'd you guys eat?
Me and JQ got a brisket burrito, which was flame.
It was the biggest burrito I've ever had.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And I got the chicken tender basket thing.
Oh,
That was good.
Yeah.
It was good. But what happened?
Oh, what?
The alarm, the fire alarm. So, me being sexy as I am, I was too hot. I walked in there and the fire alarm went off. No, I'm just kidding. The fire alarm went off. We don't know why, but yeah, it was just going off for a while while we were eating.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got our food comped because of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
Shout out
nice.
to Jordy.
Jordy,
Shout out to Jordy, the
Big
manager. Yeah, we got a food comp. That was pretty nice. Have any news, Mom?
No, not really. I'm just kind of sad I didn't go with you guys, and the alarm went off. I mean, that was kind of exciting. I mean, I don't know. I could have said I pulled the alarm because you guys didn't invite me. But no, nothing really going on. Just chilling.
Okay.
Just chilling, waiting for you guys to come back.
Chilling with Cedar Rapids. And then, Mac, anything new in your life?
Nope.
Nope. Great.
Okay.
All right. Well, campers, let's, without further ado, let's gather around the campfire.
Kick up your feet and roast those marshmallows and Wheaties.
Yep. All right, so what's everybody bringing to the campfire? So, JQ, what are you bringing? You bring anything you want to the campfire.
Anything? I'm bringing my big heart.
Aww.
Because I love all of you guys.
Aww. Okay, so Jacob's bringing the roasted weenies.
Yeah.
And then what are you bringing, Mom?
You know, I told you yesterday, it's the bug repellent for those little nasty little mosquitoes biting on you. So, thankfully we have the medic here. I'm sure he has some bug repellent. And girls, he is very
But I'm taking women, sorry.
Oh, that's true.
Ah,
Sorry.
damn.
You know, there is a camp.
Oh, what?
There is a camp counselor named Jacob who's very single.
Yeah. That's what you
That's
need to
true.
go
But
after.
you know what, son? You keep leaving the campfire, and they can't find you.
Exactly. All right, okay, Mac, what are you bringing? What are you bringing, girl?
Brisket.
Brisket.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bougie like that.
Bougie. All right, well, campers, I'm going to let Jacob give the tip for camp. I know Devin usually does it, but Devin, unfortunately, is not here with us again
we
today.
know where Devin is at. He's taking the longest. She's still stuck in that porta potty.
Oh, God. Devin, I didn't even listen to this. I'm so sorry. I warned you. I warned you, Devin.
See what happens?
But Devin will be coming back, hopefully, on the episode after this. Anyways, so a tip, right? So I give you a hint, and you have to make a tip out of it.
Okay.
Okay? So the hint is fire. Yep.
Fire. Don't be smoking hot like JQ and you won't set off any fire alarms.
Hey!
There you go.
That was good. That was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Good tip. All right, campers. So, like I said, let's gather around this campfire and let's begin. So today we're going to be talking about Malin Matsdotter, and she is the last Swedish witch to burn at the stake.
Wow.
Yeah, right? Which is a really big deal. She was also known as Rumpare Malin, and she was like an alleged Swedish witch. Because everybody back then was like, wow, you're prettier than me. You're a fucking witch.
That's what happens today, but we call them bitches.
Oh!
Just saying.
So, Malin was of Finnish heritage. At a very young age, she was married to Erik Nilsson, who worked as a manufacturer of nails and various other metal threads. They then would have 2 daughters named Anna Eriksdotter and Maria Eriksdotter. In 1668, Malin's husband would be leaving the family, but not in the way of like, bye, I don't want to like be married to you anymore and have kids. He was executed.
Shit.
Yeah, so her husband was executed. He was reported by his 13-year-old daughter Anna after she and her sister tried to run away and escape being beaten by their father. Like they were like, "Our father keeps beating us. We out."
Right.
Well, the daughters then turned around and said that the dad was fucking a cow.
Wow.
Yeah. Anna said to her father, "God knows mother beats and you beat, and I shall no longer remain silent. Such a sin you have committed, all the time standing on a chair over our black cow like a rooster over a hen." So she reported him, and people back then were like, "Well, you just can't fuck cows,"
Right.
Which you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And so they executed him.
Wow. Fuck.
Yeah. So Malin would then remarry after her husband's execution and remarry to another man named Ander Aretsson. Funky last name.
Yeah.
It wasn't a happy marriage for the daughters. Soon they would tell, they just didn't like him. They fought all the time. There was frequent fighting, and the daughter would soon move out because they just didn't like this marriage. So not much is said about what Malin, the accused woman of being a witch, did for a living. Some speculate she was a housemaid of some kind, or that she was poor and couldn't afford much. She did own a house in Maria Berget in Stockholm, but one thing is for sure, that she was hired to be a housemaid for Anna Zippel, who would then later become accused of witchcraft. So since 1668, a national witch hunt raged through Sweden since the accusation of Marit Johnsdotter, sorry, these names are so hard, by Gertrude, so somebody blames somebody for being a witch, and Darlana, resulting in the establishment of the witch commissions around the nation and execution of about 280 people.
Damn.
They were all accused of abducting children to the witches' sabbaths of Satan in Blockula, which is another place in Stockholm. And they were often judged upon the testimonies of children. So these kids would be like, "She took me to the witches' sabbath and Satan was there and she's a witch." These people are
So
like,
they
"I
just
don't know."
believe the kids?
Yeah, they believe the kids, because why would a kid lie?
I mean, yeah, why
But
this?
who formed this committee?
Again, it was a time where everybody was saying everything, so they were like, well,
Yeah.
all these kids are saying that these
All the
women,
Karens of the
Yeah.
area.
all the
got
little
together.
children
Yeah.
Karens are
Yeah.
saying these ladies are witches.
Wow. Okay.
So the Swedish witch frenzy reached its peak with the Torasker witch trials in 1675, and reached the capital of Stockholm the same year with the Galvboy, which led a witch trial in congregation of Katrina Church. So I'll get into this in a second. So known as a Katrina witch trial, where children and teenagers of the Katrina parish started to follow the example of the Galvboy by pointing out women for abducting them to Satan. So who's the Galvboy, and like what is all that? Because it kind of didn't make sense. So the Galvboy, Gris, was the son of a shoemaker in the city of Galv in Gastrikland. God, Swedish names are hard. He came to live with relatives in Stockholm in 1675 at the age of 12. After having orphaned himself by having his widowed mother, Karen Nitt's daughter, Gris executed, claiming that she had abducted him into the Sabbath of Satan in Blockula, where she had molested him sexually. So it made up this whole thing.
Yeah.
So in Stockholm, he became known as like a crown witness for Galv, the city, and everyone wanted to hear about his visits to Blockula. Like, you went to this. Who else was there? What other witches were there? And da 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 da. So he told them many stories about the Sabbath of Satan, each more fantastic and exciting than the last. Right? Because it's just
Snowballing.
snowballing, getting more and more grander. He gathered more and more people around him, including adults, and was soon a real celebrity and regarded as an expert on witches and sorcery at the age of 12. Because apparently he saw this stuff.
At the age of 12.
Age 12, exactly. So when people asked him if he had seen anything suspicious in Stockholm, he hinted that he had. He became regarded as an expert on witches and abductions in Blockula. Adults consulted with him, and he could feint and pretend to be attacked by witches publicly.
Oh
What?
my
Wow.
God.
Just to solidify, I am...
You just got to take my word.
Yeah, just take my word for it. Watch this.
12 years old.
Yeah, 12 years old, yeah. So back to the story of this accused witch. So by May 1676, the Katrina witch trial that had resulted in the execution of the sisters Britta and Anna Zibbel, that woman that she ended up working for, remember?
Yeah.
The execution also included Maria John's daughter, Margareta Matt's daughter, and Anna Purse daughter, Lacara, as well as a death in prison by suicide of Anna Mann's daughter and Corinne John's daughter. So a lot of people died.
Yeah.
All because of accusing people of witches. So this is how the trials went. So in July 1676, Malin, Matt's daughter, who was reported for witchcraft by her 19-year-old daughter Maria, her report stated, the true daughter of Rumper Malin, which is the accused witch, Maria Eriksdotter, age 19, were called upon and confessed that she had the same night been abducted by Anna, wife of Stefan, whatever, who sells beer at Delorio, to whom she had been lost at games by her mother. Last Easter evening, her mother allegedly said to her, "My daughter, do you wish to follow me, and we will make people out of you?" Thereafter, she began to take her every night to Blockula. The second time she traveled to Blockula upon a man, confessed aside that her mother had always had a bad language, cursed and used ugly words, particularly on great holy days. So basically what this is saying is that her mom would take her to these places, would meet this really strange man, and do curses to God. And this strange man is a metaphor for Satan.
Oh.
Right? So Malin was in question and cautioned to tell the truth. Like, your daughter kind of ratted you out. We just suggest you just tell us if you're a witch or not. After they had thoroughly questioned her, they asked her to read and recite the creed, right, in the Bible. She read it and recited it, but barely, for she barely knew how to read. And so she didn't even really know the Lord's Prayer by heart. And so that was like, oh, red flags.
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
It's because you're a witch.
Yeah.
Satan's in you. You can't read it. The demons are stopping you, right? Not because you can't read, you know. So her language difficulties attracted attention. When she had difficulty reading the prayers, the court instructed her to, she did not know them herself and even had trouble repeating them when they were read to her. The court noted that she hesitated in suspicious ways when she was to repeat the prayers by word. Like they repeat it and then she'd take a minute and go, okay, and then say it.
Yeah.
I think that's, anybody would
Think
do
about
that.
that.
Anybody would do that. But oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no, it's hesitation. She's a witch.
Yeah.
Witch.
It's a witch. Makes it. So, in fact, that she had been trouble reading was a fact that was not uncommon in the 17th century,
Right.
Stockholm. Since the Swedish Church Ordinance of 1571, every citizen, regardless of class or sex, was by law required to be able to read, so that they may be able to read the Bible. So then it was even more suspicious that, well, if it's required by law, how come you don't know how to read?
Right. Makes sense.
So it's just like, fuck, she's gonna get a break. So the fact that she seemed to have preferred Finnish was not considered strange by court, as the capital had a great Finnish minority from the nearby province who had blah, 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 basically. She would rather read this in Finnish than in English, or in any other language. That wasn't that strange, but she still had a really hard time. Malin's own daughter would take the stand, to which Malin was hoping it would be in defense of her, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you saved mama.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not a witch. But it was to testify against her. She testified that Malin took her and other several children to Satan in Blockula, and that Satan himself appeared in court, long, black, and with horns, and was standing by her mother, holding her skirt and whispering in her ear to never confess. She's seeing this apparition. Only she can see this apparition of Satan.
Oh my god.
And that she is the devil's telling her, don't confess.
It was JQ.
Oh my god. So Malin was then ordered by the court to then fall on her knees and pray to be able to confess. And after Malin had done this, falling to the floor on her knees confessing, Maria then stated that the devil had gone. Her daughter was like, "Oh, the devil left."
So she was there originally to defend her mom.
No. She was there to testify against her mom.
But she thought she was going to defend her.
Yeah. She thought she was.
But what she was saying was actually
was that the devil was there telling her not to confess.
How old
the
was
mom.
daughter?
Like what?
19.
19? Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And then you better fall to the floor and pray. And then the minute she did that, her daughter was like, "Oh, he's gone."
Of course.
Lies. So, a married woman by the name of Gertrude Matsdottir testified against Malin for having abducted her children to Satan 16 times before losing them in a game to another woman accused of sorcery, Anna Simon's daughter, called Tisk Anita, and that Malin had abducted them 14 times while in prison. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. Because back then they thought that witches could like leave their bodies and like become like spirits themselves and then do their mischief.
Okay.
You can do
Do
kidnapping.
they think that was like a early form of like astral projection or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But is that possible? Fuck no. Well, in this situation, because she wasn't.
I mean,
Yeah.
Don't really know.
Yeah.
So Gertrude Matt's daughter. Goodness gracious, tongue twister. Anika asked Malin if she had not played with Anika to set fire to the. Actually, no, I skipped. Sorry. So the children of Gertrude Matsdottir testified that they had been beaten by Malin to prevent them from testifying, and Gertrude Matsdottir testified that she had seen her children endure fits while being supernaturally beaten by Malin from prison, and that she would rather see them die than suffer, and that she would kill Malin herself if she was not executed.
wow.
Yeah. So now she's saying
So
that.
she's gonna die either way.
Yeah, no, there's no way that Malin's getting out of this.
Yeah.
Everybody's just making up shit.
They see blood.
Yeah, exactly. So Gertrude Matsdottir, daughter Anika, asked Malin if she had not played with Anika to set fire to the court, but Malin didn't confirm or deny this allegation because I guess her daughter was like, "Yeah, Malin said that I should burn up this place." Malin's like, "I didn't do that shit," but I'm not gonna say I did or I didn't because it's not true. What is it? I don't know. So Malin's older daughter, Anna, Eric's daughter, supported her sister's testimony that their mother took them to Satan.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
But when she stated that she herself had started to abduct children herself, she was then also placed under arrest. Why she said she would do it? I don't know. It's fucking
My
idiot.
question is, how like bad of a life these kids have
It must
to be
suck.
lying on their
To be lying,
parents?
exactly. Lying on their parents, lying on these random people. And then, too, I don't know why she would throw her own self under the bus.
Yeah.
Right.
She was like, "Yeah, she abducted me, but I also did it, too."
What the heck?
Why would you?
Yeah.
What the fuck? So,
Must be boring as hell in that town.
yeah. So the court did ask Maria Eriksdotter if she was trying to have her mother executed in order to inherit her house, but she denied it. So there was one theory is, they're just trying to murder their mom so they can get the land, the house, personal
So
possessions.
people are starting to think about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally.
Finally.
Yeah, and then they were like, "No, that's not true. She's a witch." I'm like, okay, well, case closed. Malin's husband was not mentioned during much of the trial. It was never called to testify. So her own husband never came to
Damn.
defend or was never called to testify. He was kind of like left out of it.
Unfaithful
Did he
bitch.
just let that happen?
Which honestly, at that time, I'd be like, "Sorry, girl, you gotta die. I'm not trying to get burned too." Yeah. So Malin Matsdottir was asked by the court to fall upon her knees and repeat a prayer and read it out loud, but she did not succeed by her 11th attempt, which was given great importance by the court. She had at one point been hired as a midwife to Anna Zippel, which we all know, who had previously been executed for witchcraft. So it's again also very sus. And she commented that she had never taken anyone to Blackula, which she denied. Then in that case, that she would have learned it from Anna Zippel. So yeah, I didn't take these kids to go meet Satan. Yes, that's true. But I also still work for a woman that was accused of witchcraft, so I'm still kind of guilty by association.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that's what she said. She goes, "Yeah, it's just a shitty situation I'm in. Fuck." So the court was convinced, by her of her guilt by the testimony of her own daughters, combined with her lack of religious knowledge and difficulty to read prayers, she commented the testimony of her daughters with these words. That's what she said to her daughters. My God, let them go there to Blackula forever. Like, just
Shit.
go there forever. I'm a witch, I guess.
Yeah.
Go there and meet Satan. Let me take your ass. And then she stated that she did not mind dying with her own daughters testifying against her. Her daughters were questioned again and stood by their testimonies, as Malin stood by her denial. Such firm denial was often regarded as a sign of the devil assisting the witch to withstand interrogations. She accused her daughters of a bad lifestyle. When the court asked her to specify, she answered with such language that her answer was in fact never written down in the court because they were too offensive to decent ears. So she probably talked a lot of shit about her kids in court.
Yeah.
And they were like, we can't write that down because you kind of called them a lot of really bad words.
Wow.
So, because she's probably pissed.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I give you birth.
Yeah.
I give you food. I give you a house.
Yeah.
You gotta come over here and call me a witch.
Exactly.
And get my ass burned, not because you want my house or anything. You know? So the execution. So on July 16th of 1676, Malin Matsdottir was judged guilty as charged by unanimous court on the testimonies of her daughters and was sentenced to be executed. The method of execution was a subject of debate in the Royal Witchcraft Commission, who was to decide between three alternatives. The first was the customary execution by decapitation, followed by a public burning of the corpse.
Ooh.
Option number 2 was that she was to be subjected to torture prior to the first alternative.
Oh,
Wow.
damn.
The third alternative was that she would be executed by being burned alive.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
And the last alternative was given the majority vote.
So
Burned alive.
What alternative would you choose?
yeah.
Well, it's not up to.
Well, then,
her.
If you had a choice.
If you had a choice, what would you?
I'd rather be decapitated than burned,
Yeah.
because at least it's quick.
I mean, yeah.
Honestly.
Shit, I don't want number 2 be tortured to death and then set on fire.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I was tortured to death, decapitated, and then set on fire. Like, no. So the clerical commissioner, Cornelius, stated in his vote that the honor of God should be regarded before the personal pain of Malin, and that she should be given a taste of what was awaiting for her in hell after being seduced so many souls to Satan.
Oh.
Like,
Wow.
How are you going to give her a taste?
by having her be burned alive.
Oh.
Now, that's the taste.
Damn.
Okay.
So Commissioner Ivar and Norius motivated their vote by the deterring effect such a method would have upon the public and her accomplices. The Commissioner, Dr. Urban Harjane, suggested that she be tortured with a hot iron prior to the execution, which would make her unconscious and unable to feel the pain because her death would be otherwise too cruel. But the suggestion was revoked with the view expressed by a priest, which is so funny, that the honor of the name of God was more important than Malin's personal experience of pain. The method was deemed unnecessary, and the method was deemed necessary as an example to the public and her accomplices.
Wow.
So, no, we can't torture her till she's numb so she doesn't feel pain, so when we burn her alive, she won't feel it.
I like how
We want her to feel it.
they're putting
This
so much
priest
thought.
said,
Right?
I want her to feel it. It'll set an example to all the people here not to fuck with witchcraft, and all their accomplices will see what's awaiting them. So we need to set an example.
How can they be so smart to think about all this process? What are so...
Because people back then, they were bored. They were like, "How are we gonna kill somebody?
Yeah.
Let's be creative."
Yeah.
She's invited to the barbecue for real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's invited to the barbecue. So she was instead to make her death quicker. This is something that they decided upon, which I guess. She was instead to have a bag of gunpowder secured around her neck to make her death quicker.
Oh,
That,
shit.
like, explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because the court was convinced of her guilt, her refusal to admit guilt made her position worse in the eyes of the court. Because she's not guilty.
But even if she said, yeah, I'm a witch.
She's still going to get killed. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. So one suggestion was that the place of execution, she would be given a last chance to confess her sins. right before they killed her.
Is that what they're giving her?
If she they're about to burn her alive. At that last second, she goes, "Yes, I confess, I'm a witch." Then they would then decapitate her before she was burned.
So she's gonna die either way.
Yeah. Oh, we'll do the. We're not
Do
gonna let
you
you.
a favor.
We're not gonna let you feel the pain.
Right.
We're gonna decapitate you and then burn you instead of being burned and feeling everything and having your face explode.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
I guess.
Reminds me of that Nicolas Cage scene with all the bees. He's
So the method of execution makes the case of Malin Matsdotter unique in Sweden. She was the only person of almost 300 people executed during the Great Swedish Hunt of 1668 and 1676 to be executed by being burned alive instead of by decapitation, followed by the public burning of a corpse, which was very normal in the execution of sorcery in Sweden. So she was the only one and 300 people to be burned alive at the stake.
Wow.
Yeah. Though several crimes formally allowed for public burning as a method of execution, this actually meant that the condemned be executed and burned, which meant that they were first executed by decapitation or hanging, which after their corpse would be publicly burned. This method of burning someone still alive is only known to have been used in a country a very few times before, and the verdict was therefore very controversial. So even if it was on the table, they were like, that's really metal. No, but she was the exception.
Yeah.
They had wiggle room for her, I guess, out of the 300 people. So Malin Matsdotter was the last person, like I said, to be executed by burning in the capital Stockholm, and the second to last to be executed by burning in Sweden. No other person executed for sorcery in Sweden is confirmed to have been burned alive. Because of this, she has sometime also been regarded as the only one in Sweden to be executed by burning for sorcery altogether. The execution was performed in the square of Hötorget in Stockholm on August 5th of 1676. Malin Matsdotter was to be executed alongside Anna, Smith's daughter, known as Tiskanita, who had also been accused and sentenced to death on the testimony of her own children, but was to be executed the normal way by decapitation before burning.
Wow.
So she was being burned alive next to to a corpse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the other person got to be decapitated, but not Malin. The contrast between the behavior of the two had been noted. Anna Smith's daughter was described as full humility and respect and behave as what was expected by her.
Yeah.
And though she did not directly say that she was guilty, she behaved as what was expected for her. And I quote, "By her remorse, by her psalms, and by falling on her knees and lifting her head and her hands up to the sky, confirmed the justice in the verdict and the justice in the world." So because she was like this pinnacle woman to confess to her witchery, that she got the right to be decapitated and burned.
So this was her daughter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the day, in these courts, did they have any type of defense, or was it just themselves versus everybody?
Basically that. Them versus everybody, and then if you had people to help testify with you or witnesses.
They were probably witches too. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's why a lot of these people don't have a defense because Jacob's a witch. I'm like, well, no, he's not. I'm like, well, you must be a witch too if you're different again.
So
it's in the
blood. And then people will be like, oh yeah, I saw Zach fuck a cow and sell it to Satan. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I didn't. It's like, oh, that's because the devil's talking to his ear. I can see him. And it's like, where are you? Who are you? Where are you getting this from? Like, you psycho?
What I want to know is, since all this death of this family trade, let's say, did all the children or the children in the town, did it stop? Did witchery stop? Did the kids say, oh, it stopped and no one, harassed me? Or
I think because of just the time
to see Satan,
I think because times have changed. She was the last one to be burned alive. It doesn't say that she was the last one to ever be executed.
Oh, okay.
It continued
because it just
on.
seems like it was children after children after children that would talk about their parents that did this to them.
Or random people.
I wonder if it stopped after some killings.
If my kid ever do that to me,
I mean, it took. I mean, it's been 300 people, so I mean, I don't think it was ever going to stop.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
The whole time just gonna burn that.
So when her daughter cried out and appealed to her to commit her crimes, right? She was like, I did this. She said, Malin delivered her daughter in the hands of the devil and cursed her for eternity.
What?
So because of Malin, that's why her daughter did these grotesque things.
Right.
Whatever.
Wow.
So the daughter in question would have been Maria Eriksdotter, and Anna Eriksdotter was herself in arrest at the time. The execution itself was described as this. But though all of this was both horrifying and pathetic to look upon, those who suffered death did not shed one tear, but stood by their standpoint of innocence with an unnatural courage. Because they believe that they're not witches. No, they stood there stoic. Like, I'm not going to cry that I'm dying. I'm innocent.
Yeah.
Why am I going to scream and holler? I mean, I'm going to die regardless.
Right.
Might as well die with my dignity and
Exactly.
say that I'm innocent to the end.
Exactly.
So, tradition claims that Malin Matsdotter did not scream at all during when she was burned alive, and that she died in silence.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's strict right there.
Yeah. So, Malin Matsdotter was the last person to be executed for witchcraft in Stockholm, and this is just in Stockholm. This is not anywhere else in the world. Yeah, the last person to be executed by burning in Stockholm as well, and the second to last to be executed by burning in Sweden, next to Lars Nilsson in 1693. So it did happen again. Someone else was executed. In 1677, all the priests of the country were ordered to proclaim in their churches that witches had now been expelled from the country forever, in order to avoid further witch trials. It's like, they're all gone. So if kids say that there's anything here, there's no
They're
fucking
lying.
witches. They're lying.
Yeah.
It's been expelled.
Right.
Probably because they're tired of this shit.
Yeah.
Bro, I burned like 3 witches last week. I'm tired. Damn. This ended the Great Swedish Witch Hunt of 1668 through 1676. Though there were accusations after this, few people were executed for sorcery after the year of 1676. The last execution took place in 1704 when when Anna Eriksdotter was decapitated, the last person to be executed for sorcery in Sweden. So that is how the last Swedish witch was burned alive in Sweden. Malin Matsdotter was her stupid little shit daughters. Were like, my mom's a witch.
Yeah.
And then ratted one of themselves out. I don't know, maybe she was trying to make herself like a martyr. Like, oh, she took me and she tricked me into doing it as well, but I've
Right.
changed.
Right.
And then the court was like, no, dumb bitch.
Oh,
You're a
real.
witch.
Yeah, that's what they
We have
get.
to burn you. She's like, fuck.
That's what she
I
gets.
just screwed myself.
That's what she gets.
Yeah, so yeah, witch hunts were crazy. And this is like the second witch trial I've done. The first one I did, I can't remember her name, but she survived her witch trials.
So
Really?
Yeah,
How the hell did she survive?
yeah. Have you listened to that
I
episode?
probably did, but I don't remember it.
It's called, oh wait, hold on, I can tell you right now.
But she survived the trial. Okay.
Yeah, so she lived.
Oh, not the the burning.
No, she lived. She lived, is what I'm saying.
All right.
Her name was... What in the world was that?
He cast a spell.
Witch. Oh, Grace Sherwood. Grace Sherwood was a witch in Virginia. If you guys want to listen to another really cool witch one, it's called episode 16, The Badass Witch of Virginia.
Okay.
Basically, a bunch of people accused her. One, she was hot, right? A lot of the women were mad because all the men were like, ooh, girl. And she was accused a lot of times. It always fell through.
Yeah.
Then she had to do, one of the trials was a ducking. What ducking is that they just kind of tie you up and they throw you in the water. If you float, you're a witch. If you sink,
Yeah.
you're not a witch.
So did they save them after they sink? Or they just let them
They usually die by the time they sink.
die?
So they're like, she was innocent, but now she's dead.
Yeah.
But she ended up sinking, and then after a while, she rose back up again to the surface. And so one of the priests was like, hold on, bitch, you're going to sink.
Yeah.
And tied a Bible around her neck, and it sunk.
Wow.
But when she sunk, she was able to untie herself and emerge from the water, thus making her innocent because she was down there for a brief period of time.
Hey.
But when she arose, a sudden rainstorm happened, so it just made her look like a witch, like she caused this rain to happen because she was pissed,
Yeah.
right? And then some people said, oh, she looked like she had babies, demon babies suckling on her tits when she came out of the water. She was crazy. Anyways,
What the hell?
exactly. People are wild, but she
Yeah.
ended up surviving her trials and actually died of old age. Like she lived.
Wow. Hey.
But
Go
her
ahead.
sons, at the end of the day, when she ended up passing, they said that when she died, she turned into dust and shot up the chimney and that all that was left in her ashes were hoof prints of the devil.
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God.
Crazy.
Wow.
But it was all allegation,
You are.
which is we see that common over and over again with many witch trials in the States and also across the pond in Europe, where people will just say you're a witch just to either get your land. They don't like you. You flirted with their husband one time back, and the husband thinks you're cute. And it was also to men as well, but mainly towards women.
Right.
And the women would just gang up on these ladies. They're like, sometimes, girls like to talk shit. And
Sometimes.
they like to gang up. They like to gang up. So
Yes.
the whole little girl posse would gang up and be like, oh, I'm season out. She's putting a spell on me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the case. They just
Right.
hated that bitch and wanted her to die.
So my question is, the kids, right?
Yeah.
When they got older, did they ever come out and say, "Yo, I lied about this"?
I mean, this
Because
is
some are-
still like 1700s, so
so
probably not.
Huh? Yeah. Okay.
They're probably like, yep, I'm
Still
a
on
witch
with it.
hunter.
Oh, wish
I killed 300 witches when
Yeah.
I was 9.
Yeah.
I'm a bad bitch. Don't
Keep my
fuck with
rising
me.
cabbage.
Don't fuck with me. I might seize out and say you're a witch, but be careful.
Yeah.
You know, Mom, you didn't give my the Christmas gift I wanted. Oh, he's a witch. Burn her. Yeah. Yeah, so that was a case of Malin Matsutter, the last Swedish witch to be burned. And so, like I always do before we go, I always like to tell a joke.
I like to tell a joke because I do the puns.
Okay, well, you haven't been part of the podcast because your ass is still in the fucking forest for so goddamn long.
Well, since I'm the main counselor, Zachary doesn't exist anymore. So,
Okay, what's the
I
joke?
have a pun. What did the grape say when it got crushed? Nothing. It just let out a little wine.
Do it. All right, campers. Thank you for tuning in to this episode coming around the campfire, listening to a really crazy story. If you guys would like to see the pictures and witch stuff, you can see it on our Instagram. We'll make a post about this episode. Our Instagram is campinsomnia_podcast. If you want to find us on other platforms as well, say your friend wants to listen, but they're like, I only listen on Pandora. Well, guess what? We're on Pandora. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, YouTube,
Apple Music.
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, we're practically everywhere. And we have a link tree in our bio that you can send them, and they can find us on all our platforms.
Nice.
But thank you guys for tuning in, and good luck trying to sleep tonight.
Yes.
Ooh, don't burn yourself.
Yeah. Be good. Be good, because someone might call you a witch, and next thing you know, you're burned alive at the stake. And hopefully, they'll decapitate your ass first.
Don't hump cows.
Yeah.
Stay away from the
Don't do
cow.
bestiality. All right, bye, campers. Bye.